Hello and Assalamu alaikum. I'm Marwa, welcome to Narramus. In the murky world of geopolitics, few events are truly coincidental. The 2025 Pahelgam attack and the events that followed, including India's military retaliation under Operation Sindoor, Israel's strikes on Iran, and diplomatic posturing by the US, point towards a larger game at play. The question isn't just what happened, but why it happened, and more importantly, who really benefited. Following the Pahelgam incident, two starkly opposing narratives emerged. India swiftly blamed Pakistan and launched Operation Sindoor, a series of punitive strikes to reaffirm its hardline posture under Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Pakistan, in turn, denied any involvement and accused India of orchestrating a false flag operation, designed to build international pressure against Pakistan and bolster India's claim to regional hegemony. Not only that, once attacked by India, Pakistan retaliated fiercely, forcing India to agree with third-party intervention. Interestingly, during this period, the international community, particularly the US, appeared to reject India's narrative.
On Saturday, my administration helped broker a full and immediate ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons. And we helped also with trade. I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys. Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. They stopped that war. Now, am I going to get credit? I'll never get credit for anything. They don't give me credit for anything.
President Donald Trump openly claimed credit for brokering a ceasefire between the two nuclear-armed South Asian neighbors. He even went a step further, offering to mediate the Kashmir dispute, publicly snubbing India's long-standing position that Kashmir is a bilateral issue. Just as the India-Pakistan clash subsided, Israel launched a series of airstrikes against Iranian targets, sparking a 12-day standoff in the region. The situation once again required American mediation. The timing, two crises erupting almost simultaneously in volatile regions, raises an important strategic question. Was this a coincidence or part of a coordinated geopolitical move? In geopolitics, coincidences are rare, if not outright impossible. Patterns like these often point to strategic choreography. Militarily, the episode was sobering for India. Pakistan not only retaliated immediately, but shot down 6 Indian aircrafts, marking a clear tactical victory. Yet the more profound miscalculation was India's assumption that the world, particularly the West, would back its escalation. This misjudgment can be better understood if we entertain a third hypothesis, that the Pahelgam attack was triggered by a third-party actor, not to benefit Pakistan or India, but to corner Modi at a critical juncture of his global posturing. Modi, now in his third term, is visibly toying with the idea of strategic autonomy, balancing relationships with the US, Russia, and China simultaneously and on India's terms. This, however, runs contrary to the American strategic calculus. Washington has invested heavily in India, militarily, diplomatically, and economically, with a singular goal: the containment of China. India, as per the Indo-Pacific strategy, is seen as the net security provider in the region. For the US, Modi's unwillingness to openly confront China is not just disappointing, it's unacceptable. To force India's hand, a crisis was needed, one that would pressure Modi into choosing between two equally damaging options: either blame Pakistan and escalate militarily to limits she is not capable of handling, risking global backlash and regional instability, or stay silent and suffer domestic political defeat for appearing weak. Pahelgam provided just that. It cornered Modi into acting hawkishly, likely against his strategic will, and then forced him to de-escalate quickly via the American diplomatic off-ramp. The Pahelgam episode established a new normal. India cannot handle a military escalation with Pakistan without US support.
पाकिस्तान ने भारत पर ही हमला करना शुरू कर दिया। पाकिस्तान ने हमारे सैन्य ठिकानों को निशाना।
In any limited conflict with Pakistan, especially when relying solely on long-range vectors, India faces severe constraints. The geography, military parity, and nuclear backdrop ensure that any aggression from India results in limited gains with disproportionate costs. Pakistan, on the other hand, enjoys the second mover advantage and can calibrate its response with precision and lethality, gaining an upper hand tactically and diplomatically. It also sent a clear message to Modi. Strategic economy in today's world order has limits, especially when it conflicts with American strategic interests. The real post-Pahelgam message delivered to Modi in the background of US extending diplomatic warmth towards Pakistan was blunt. Play the US game against China or pay the domestic political price. The Western media's framing of Pakistan-China military cooperation added further pressure on India, making it increasingly difficult for any Indian government, BJP or otherwise, to advocate cooperation with China. The Pahalgam incident appears to be less about India versus Pakistan and more about reminding Modi of the geopolitical pecking order. It highlighted how India's strategic autonomy is conditional and that US support is tied to compliance, not independence. Washington's view is pragmatic. The US has a strategic relationship with India, not Modi. He, like any leader, is replaceable. And if the Indian Prime Minister failed to understand this during earlier signals, like the Hasina Wajid crisis, Pahelgam served as a hard reset. Was Pahelgam a third-party act? The evidence is circumstantial, but the alignment of outcomes, timing of events, and resulting shifts in regional postures suggest it is a highly plausible hypothesis. Modi is now faced with a painful recalibration. Either submit to American expectations of confronting China or risk isolation and political fallout at home. Meanwhile, Pakistan's relationship with the US remains transactional and short-term, but India's is strategic and conditional, a responsibility with strings attached. And if Modi tries to walk a line of independence again, he may be reminded once more, the hard way. What are your views on these assumptions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. As always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Allah Hafiz.